Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Shrivadananda Chitta Bhagavatpadacharyoभ्यो Namo Namaः Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititolaya Niyati Prataya Jnana Prataya Buddha Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madiprabhudan Vadan Rasakatvan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvara Hariridi Pratipatakam Tam Ananda Tirtha Munivaram Namami Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satyadharma Rataya Cha भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतो सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विश्वदावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Welcome friends. We have seen சொல்லுங்க பிரபுதா. Hello. Yeah. Okay. I will do. I will. Yeah. Admit. Good morning, madam. Good morning, Prabhuda.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, is it audible?
Yeah, perfectly audible.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So there is some internet issue and some problem.
Now you could take care of it 45 minutes.
Yeah, correct.
Okay then.
Thank you. Welcome again and welcome friends.
Every minute is precious and Zoom has made it more precious.
Absolutely. Welcome friends again, because we are back into our Kathopanishad discussions. We have seen so far about 3 mantras, in the second adhyaya, second chapter. We have completed the first chapter, and after the first chapter, where we have seen, because the how, because the control, the God and our relation with the beings and the world, how it has been sort of equated, because it is a sort of equation. So yes, the God is pervading the entire the cosmos, as well he is into everyone's life force also. This is a paradox, how the same force, which is all pervading, and how it can be inside us also. So this is one of the discussions always taking place. And again, because in our philosophy, when it has been said, because of course, it is being expounded in other philosophies also, and like in Christianity also, it is finally the God's power, the kingdom of the God is the one everyone's goal to attain, because the kingdom of God is within you, but you are not able to realize that. Because the same question which has been asked, how is it possible? It is a paradox. You say it is everywhere, but because then it is also inside you, and then you say when it is everywhere, because why you are not able to realize, and when you will have to take a special efforts to realize yourself, because in the sense, you will have to do a lot of sort of efforts to take it, because sadhana in our Sanatana Dharma and in others, you've got prayers, because you've got various meditation techniques, and a lot of mystical ways are also there in others. In Judaism is also there, it's Zendavesta in Parsis, that's also there. It has been explained to everyone, because basically internally who is guiding you, when you will have to realize him, that is most important thing. While all pervading power, you are able to see the display of his power in your day-to-day activities. In fact, because yesterday Sandhya madam has sent one photograph of the natural way of, because showing up the power of the God in the form of thunder and lightning. How, it is so marvelous. And in fact, yesterday you might have heard an incident. The hailstorm, has just broken the nose of passenger aircraft. Luckily, they all escaped, because this is the power of the, because they didn't have any indication when the flight was taking off. Suddenly, because there was a change in the atmosphere, because then the hailstorm, that the cloud was formed. They were not able to make, even they couldn't land in another airport, which they wanted to, which happened to be in Pakistan. But they carried on the journey. So finally, they all landed safely. Because in fact, if you find our life is also something like that. We go with a particular thoughts. Because based on our experience, what we have heard, the journey is going to be like that. But suddenly we find it is all something different, which has not been envisaged by us, not known to us. Finally, we come across that, and then we find how can it happen to me? And instead of getting bogged down, when we are able to have this knowledge and all, we are able to find a way to wade through. That is the process. The Upanishad or the scriptures or gospels or because Zendavesta or anything and everyone, even the Stoicism of the great philosophy of the Greeks, because which is being quoted every now and then, because which is considered to be more meaningful for the present day life, because now a lot of you will find the quotings from Stoicism everywhere and all. So when that is what is happening and all. So the paradox of finding out, because why all pervading is also inside you, and you've got to because for your final happiness entails when you are able to find the internal power in you which is guiding you all through. So that is what there are two approaches to this. So one thing, we will try to find, because the same question has been asked by one of the greatest sort of exponent of our philosophy to his master. Look, you are telling us, about the same thing. The consciousness is all pervading, because in the Advaita sort of explanation, because the same consciousness is lighting up your thoughts, you are able to do. What is this? Once you say consciousness, it is there, because then, because we are not able to understand, leave it at that, because then let us go further into that. He said, and unless you understand what is the paradox of consciousness all pervading and which is inside you, you will not be able to go through. If you remember, long before, because I have quoted an incident, and Chinmayananda asked his guru, the Tapovanji Maharaj, who was the guru to him, where he has taken, the sort of, when he was his disciple in the upper Himalayas in his initial days. He asked him the same question. He didn't answer him. The next day, when he, because after he used to come, only 3-4 weeks, from upper Himalayas and teach the disciples, and he will go back again, for his meditation. Where he goes, no one knows. The Tapovanji Maharaj, of a very enlightened soul, used to come once in a while. The Chinmayanandaji Maharaj was his disciple. So he was little perplexed. What is this paradox he's talking about? He was in the initial stages, because he was just getting into that in Adhyatma based on the advice of Swami Shivananda, who was given him the Diksha. He told Shivananda, I want to know the Adhyatma from the master who has practiced and who knows scriptures and who has experienced himself. Then he has been sent to Tapovanji Maharaj near Gangotri, where he was having this experience. Then Tapovanji Maharaj, one day when he came, he asked Chinmayanandaji, go and fetch some water from the Ganges. The Ganges was flowing just by the side. He was asking, all of us have been to the Ganges in the morning. Why he is asking to go and fetch some water? Anyway, he didn't have the guts to ask why, and also he carried his, the kamandal, whatever has been given to the Sishyas. So he carried that and brought some water, and he brought it, put it in front of the Swamiji. Swamiji asked him to sit. He said, what you have brought in? The water. And what is there in the river? That's also water. But then, how do you know this is water? Because no, I brought it in my kamandal. Then he said, you want to understand the consciousness in the container. You are a container. It is all pervading, because the human body or any other body is a container. The container, because when it is giving the life force, then how will you be able to understand the life force? Based on the activation it gives you by the, by what you are seeing, what you are doing, what you are thinking. Through that only you will be able to understand there is a consciousness. But if you are not able to understand, because then you will have to go through, I think, your own experience. That is what I was telling you. How am I to go through this experience? This is what Chinmayanandaji. So then he said, because when you are doing meditation, when you are doing everything and all, what bothers you is always the thoughts. The thoughts, pervade, because always pertains to the past or the present or what we are going to do. And, because then it gives you, I am going to do, because I will have to do, I will have to manage. I have got all these things and all. When you say all these things, when you are going on thinking into those things, you are a container having the consciousness. You will have to do only that way only, because having been a human being, come with the consciousness, life force into this world, you've got no other way but to deal with the world by doing the activities only. That means karmas. Karmas you will have to do. You cannot be sitting idle, I'm not going to do the karma, and all. The karma will have to do, because even eating is a karma and sleeping is a karma. It will have a ripple effect. Whatever you are going to do is going to affect someone else. It's a chain reaction. We are all, because in the cosmic, the liquid, because there will be a ripple everywhere and it will have it. But based on the activities, once you are able to refine your activities and you are able to see, then you will be able to slowly understand, because whatever, you are doing, thinking that I have been doing and all, slowly the I thought will go, and you are not the doer, you are erased. You are not the doer, you are, if something is getting it done by you based on your capability. What is that capability? Is the vasanas which you have carried from several births, and perhaps it is a treasure trove, and it is also allowing you to experience. But when you are doing everything, based, when it is being getting it done, what happens, when you do meditation, that slowly when the I thought, because when the ego goes only when the I thought goes. The ego can't be separated so easily, because I may say I don't have an ego, but I carry the ego because I always think, because I have been doing it, I have been writing it, I have been speaking and all. That these are all the things inbuilt in us. That is how, the awareness of our existence is being understood by us. Once I understand, yes, I am getting it done slowly, because then, because after all, I am getting it done, let me try to see, how best I can do. When the slowly I thought goes off, you will simply be doing what is in front of you to the best of your ability, without looking into whether you are going to get anything plus or minus, whether you are going to get the benefit or whether you are going to get the happiness, whether you are going to get this or that. You are not going to, because whatever you are going to do is having a ripple effect, but you will simply be doing what is in front of you. So am I to do even something unwanted is to be done, because the societal norms. If I have to be, because set up a meat business, I may be cutting the meat. Maybe, because that's how, your vasanas were there, you have to experience that. In that you will have to do, because that is what, the job is in front of you. But of course, once you understand, because the meat eating is not the one, which is really meant for the business, and then you will slowly give it up. And when, how will you will give it up? When you take something else instead of that, because a replacement for the meat, something like that you will try to produce, because a lot of, because the substitutes are coming. Likewise it will happen. So therefore, it is not that, because you will simply be, because doing all meditation and all those things, if you carry, that I thought, the ego that comes with you, whatever you are doing will not allow you to get into the higher echelons of your possibilities, which is inbuilt in you. That is why, because in this the mantras, what we have seen, because we have seen, because in gradually they have taken us. In the third chapter also, because when you come to the second chapter also, what it does, because it says finally the prana, which is the life force which is in you, it is doing so selfless job. The prana is, what the entire, the breathing what we are doing, which is called pravaha vayu. Prana has got a greater connotation in our scriptures. Even the god is being, because denoted by the word prana in Vedas. The prana is the one, is the concept, is a selfless work. So if prana is working in us, and prana is working in the maybe topmost rogue also, criminal also, and it's also working in the peevish beggar also, mighty monarch also. It doesn't expect anything. Whatever, where the life force has been put into the body, it selflessly does everything, because so that finally it serves the master, the life force which is in the body. He does it, selflessly. He does everything, because he brings the energy to the body, distributes it, and he also detoxifies, because prana, apana, what we say is, because the entire upper part of the body gets the wisdom, strength, and, because thoughts and your growth of the brain, and as well as, consequently, the mind, which is disembodied, that gets into the higher realm. And then, because the detoxification that takes care of your gut is supposed to be the second brain nowadays, because If it is not detoxified, because the body will not be able to survive, you will have to take the entire dirt out, because that's also being done selflessly by the prana. Apana, prana, apana, vyana. Vyana is the one, which distributes the entire energy through all the nodes. We have seen, because in our scriptures it is Ida, Pingala and Sushmana Nadis are there. It is 30 plus 30, 60,000 nodes are there all over the body. And they are being energized. That is, in our scriptures. Otherwise, because all the nerve centers, all the lymphatic, the cells, where it has to produce, the cells, to fight, the any sort of infection, it all takes, and then, it's it regeneration. When so many cells have to be regenerated and so many things have to be sort of sent out, that process is also being prana, apana, vyana, udana. Udana is the one, which is taking, all the energy centers, it takes care of it, and the blood vessels and all the blood is being distributed to all over the body. And samana, because it gives the balance, the fine balance that has been kept. And so many things is being happening, keeping the balance, the prana, which is supposed to be the one selfless worker, and who is the selfless, almost being considered as a begotten son of the Brahman, because in our scriptures, he is so important. But that is why, because in Vaita's team, they say, Vayu Jivotama is the highest among all the creations of the God. In the sense, because selflessly serves. He doesn't bother about, whom he is serving, whether he is sending a saint or a sinner, he doesn't bother. He does it. That has been brought about here. And then, because he also doesn't have the power himself. That we have seen in Isavasya Upanishad also, here also that is being brought about here. That is what the last mantra we have seen, the 2.2.4 in the page 108 of the document which I have sent. Asya vistram samanasya vitram samanasya shariras tasya dehinaha. As this gets loosened, vistram, because when the entire, the cloth is torn, this is called vistram. When at the vistram samanasya, at the end, because when the container, the body, because finally it gets disintegrated, loosened or detached, the embodied self, because the life force or the Paramatman or the consciousness or the self, as in the Advaita, whatever you call it, it leaves the body. And body is being left to its own natural, because it has to get back to all the Panchabhautika, all the elements it has to get into this natural being. It is being said, it goes off. Once it goes off, once it gets freed from the body, Dehat vimuchya manasya, because once it goes, what is left? What remains then? This is what, once it becomes, we don't know that. This is the last question. This Nachiketa has asked, once, it becomes Preta, what is left? He is asked. For the third question, Nachiketa, this Yama has not given any answer. He said, don't ask me this question. Even Devas have not understood this clearly. Even the highest possible, because the beings, who have elevated themselves, they are also still in quandary. Don't ask me this question. So then, on the insistence of Nachiketa, if I have to get the answer, it is only from you. You are the one who is the knower of the answer, and you are the one, because who has got the highest knowledge. I will not leave you till such time I get it. We have seen in the first chapter itself, as Yama, how he tried to induce him with all the benefits. Don't ask me these questions. You will be a king of whatever land you want. Even if you want to be the king of the entire world, you will be one. You will be getting all the pleasures, at your beck and call without working for that. Because for us, we will have to work if we have to get, any of the things, which we want to see and get it in this world. But he said, don't have to, because the parichara says it will be served to you. You don't have to ask for that. Please don't ask me this question. But on insistence of the Nachiketa, because Nachiketa is such a soul, infant, because totally, he doesn't have any contamination whatsoever. He just wanted to see what is that. For that, when the finally answer has been given, now, he was trying to give the answer, but then, because he has not fully given the answer. That's why he wants further clarification. What is left? Still tell me, because till last mantras, we have seen how the Paramatman is there, how Brahman is there, how it controls the body, how we have also seen because Virat, Hiranyagarbha, these are all the forms, and there is no sort of a difference between any of these things. Neha nanasti kinchana, one word we have seen, and we will have to take it in the higher sense of the word. There is no difference between whatever the ultimate power any religion propounds. All the religion they propound is the highest possible quality being, who could be the creator of the world, the sustainer of the world, and who takes care of us. It cannot be different from anyone at all, because that is the highest quality. You will not find any sort of a blemish to that. Nega Narasti Kinchana is in the limited sense, because it is whatever, you want to call it Shiva, Vishnu, or Kartik, or Shakti, or whatever it is, there is no difference between, because these are all the highest qualities you are representing by the name and form, which is enables you to do the upasana. Nothing more than that. There is no difference between that. And even because Ganesha, the followers are also there, because therefore you should not be bothering about that. That is the word, because we use that word being used in the last chapter. The same thing he did. Dehat vimuchya manasa, get freed from the body. What is getting freed from the body? That is the question. So then what remains here? Kim atra parisishyate. What is remaining, after the entire thesis? This is the simplest question any child would ask, because even after seeing a body. For that, because there are two interpretations. Because this is the sort of a final elucidation of, because what we wants to give. There are two approaches. One, because in the Siddha, because where, finally get into the Sushma Sarira, because that we have got, the Sushma Sarira is the one which finally gets all the pleasures, sorrows, everything and all. It's not the gross body. Gross body, you may be able to get you digest, because a good food and you take a good food and enjoy for the tabiyat push ho gaya. When you say, because that is only that, because the actual pleasure is being enjoyed by these Sushma Sarira. Sushma Sarira, because it has got, because the power to get from all the chakras, and it is got the power to sort of have a regulation over all the senses also. That is why, it has got the ability to enjoy the ephemeral pleasure as the final pleasure both. But once you transcend that, finally it is the Karana Sharira, causal body. The causal body is the one finally it gets, because when it gets, it is just have all the imprint of your knowledge, treasure trove, what we call chitta. The chitta is there in the Karana Sarira. In the Karana Sarira, you don't have any chittas left, unfulfilled desires or unfulfilled ambitions, because some people may be having everything, but they want to be known for something. And I should have done some work, so that the world should remember me forever. So because everyone can't be an Albert Einstein, because there could be only one Albert Einstein. He came, but he also came, because he had total contempt for authority. He never considered anyone to consider him to be an authority. In fact, if I am seeing I am just reading his biography. It is a wonderful, he didn't want anything, because he was so open-minded. He was liberated. He was perhaps, he has given up, that ego in that, because in the sense of the, what we consider that. But though, he has done it his own way, because he was inbuilt and innate. It must be, because several births, he must have been elevated. That's how you got it. So when that comes, because that Karana Charira, when everything is left, and finally it is the final self, because that's what Advaita will say. You say once you know the self and all, there is nothing to know. You get dissolved into the self. Once you attain that level, when the ego is, because gone out of that stage, you get dissolved. There is another approach to that, because where you want to find, because there was a creator, sustainer, and who was taken care of. How am I to know, because the same life force is in me, in the container, as well as all over the body, all over the cosmos, because how am I to have this paradox sorted out? If you want to consider that at that point of time, because both approaches are valid in our scriptures, because both approaches take you to understand yourself more effectively. Nothing more than that. To understand us more effective, know who you are, because that is the question everyone is asking, if you want to any philosophical or any talk first, because even the Vivekananda asked that question in all the Vedanta universities, wherever he has gone there, as well as, the Vedanta societies he established in US everywhere and all. So knowing whoever, because in the sense, once you understand you are not the doer, and I am getting, because it's getting done in the sense, because you are trying to focus on what is to be done, because then, you will not be bothering about, how, what am I going to do, how am I going to do and all, because, you got whatever ability that is inbuilt in you. And the constant learning, because life is a journey and it's a work in progress. As you go about it, you may be doing better than yesterday, today. Because if I am cooking something, because if I understood, I have seen the recipes and I get certain suggestions. Today, my cooking would be better than yesterday, because I might have done something more, more palatable. But that is for, but once you understand that, yes, it is it. That's all. There is still something much better than that. You will not be addicted to, I only want this type of a cooking and this type of a dish and all, because that your possessiveness will go off. How ego can be given up? By giving up the possessiveness of what you want, possessiveness of what you enjoy, possessiveness of what you have. Because even because children are supposed to be not to be, we are not supposed to be possessive about children. The children have come through us, but they belong to the world because they have got their own, because they have also got their own innate journey, because they have also got the life force in them. They are also trying to find the paradox of what is in them as well as what is in the cosmos. So they are, and their way of working and their way of contribution, their way of interacting with the world will be totally different. We can't be possessive about it. But once we are possessive, we are not allowing our ego to go off. That is the root cause of all our sort of a suffering, or because our own what we call a distress or anything like that, or a dissatisfaction. What is sometimes we feel we lack, because by why we will feel lack, because even if we have everything, by we looking at someone, because there are something available to them I don't have. So once you leave it at that end, because they have their way of having it and I am having, I am feeling it, I am happy with it, let it go. And but let me go through, because whatever I am capable with this body, mind and intellect, as long as I am existing, once you have that, perhaps that is going to be taking us to the highest level of satisfaction. That is what has been said. So what remains afterwards is, because when you in other, so it may be that sthula sarira which enjoys, because which enjoys all your senses, which does everything and all. It is only a doer, it's an instrument. After that, your Sushma Sarira is the one who is capable of enjoying and knowing, because what even the knowledge what you are having, you are able to momentarily have the pleasure of, giving a best lecture or hearing a best lecture or knowing from the best masters. Everything will be happening. And finally, once all these things transcend, take you, finally, that ego is taken to out to the hilt when you know you are just part of the whole, and finally you have got to attain the highest possible elevation where, because you have got nothing to, because there is no happiness, no sorrow, nothing, it is all, because you are as pure, pristine, pure in the original state, where you are there. That is Karana Sarira, they say, because that is one, Vimchate, that once you have that, that is only few. Maybe, you can have the number, because it's not that you can't count them, even sort of single digits, because they are only few and far between. Some acharyas, like, all our acharyas who had, they are the one, and great Jesus and our Zendavesta, and, because even some of the masters, and even the Western masters, Socrates and Plato, even the others, one Immanuel Kant, and so many people we can say, because they might all done at different level. Because they say there are also different levels of they have attained that. Then it is different, and then maybe they are destined to have the highest level. Maybe in couple of best forthcoming births, they may be having it. This is what someone short, what is there, this entire, once you want to understand the paradox of what is the life force in you, as well as which is pervading all the cosmos, it is to know that you are only the doer. And then, because in this process, you will also be trying to find, because you are going to do what is being done, because in Tamil there is a one proverb, "En kadan pani seythu kidappadu." I will only do whatever is in front of me, nothing more. It is a life motto. Is it that in front of me, if the food is there, I will take it? In front of me, if I am in sort of a research lab, because if what is the project, I will just do it. Of course, no, I will question, because after all, in the research, you will have to question. Unless you question yourself, and even when you want to know who you are, you will have to go on questioning. The self-questioning, because it should not be a chatter. Chatter will be, knowing, because why it didn't happen to me, I did right thing, how am I to do better and all. The questioning is, because okay, let me do how better. Am I, because I will be able to do little better. And even if, because there is no harm in earning money and accumulating wealth, you do it. But don't get, because okay, you will do it, and certainly you will find, how am I to allocate the resources. The resource allocation, is great, whether you are an individual or a corporate and all. What, for what purpose you are allocating and all. Otherwise, a lot of people in a lot of institutions would not have come up. Someone has thought at some point of time. And because but when you even before starting, if you get bogged down, look, how am I to do, you need a big organization, you need a big this one, and because unless I have all these things, the conditions will not come to that. But once you start working, the conditions will automatically be getting attracted to you. All those conditions will fall in place. So this is what, in some substance it is there. The next mantra, because that one says the highest truth. It is neither the prana or apana and all that. They are not the one finally, one by going that, they are not the final authority. Because there is an authority above them, that life force. What is that we have seen already Isavasya Upanishad, and the same thing is being explained. It is repeated, because Upanishad re-emphasizes everything again and again, because the human mind has got the ability to forget so easily. And not only that, it is being ingrained in different contexts. So you will not be able to sort of juxtapose the context and question, because after all, as Indians, we always question. The Harvard University, because now, of course, it is in a problem with Trump being there, he's not allowing anything to happen. So there also, the professors used to say, because it is difficult to stop an Indian to ask a question and entice a Japanese to provoke a Japanese to ask a question. The Indians will give a flurry of questions once you give an opportunity. A Japanese will think over, perhaps he will not ask anything, because he will try to sort of reflect, and he may find an answer. Perhaps he may give an answer also at that point of time. And that is our innate, the qualities, our own nature. It is there. It is like that, because likewise, once we get into that, reflect ourselves, we will find it. And it is the glorious life, because that's going to be talked about. And next, we have got about another 19 mantras to go to before finish up this Kathopanishad. These 19 mantras are going to give you the essence of most of the Upanishad, because even next Upanishad, what we will be taking about is Satprashna Upanishad, Prasna Upanishad. After this, Kathopanishad is there, and Mundaka will come. I am taking it in order so that it is easy for us to go through the journey of Upanishad. With this, I will try to conclude today's session. We have got a couple of minutes. I think certainly, you can ask me if you would like to, because Sanjay madam, I think you might have sort of got into, because we have gone through, because though it were all we have repetition and all, but in a different context we have seen. This was more of bringing about the answer to the third question, understanding how we are not, cognizant of the breathing what we are taking place, because breathing is so important now. All the anapanasati meditation and all those things, they are forcing on that, because the innate in you, you are not giving any sort of attention to that. By giving that attention to that, you will be sort of treating yourself, because that itself, is your food intake, regulated food intake. So, because whatever they call it sattvic and all, whatever suits you, once you take it and once you have that, that will be great. Because in Vishnu Sahasranamam, one word, one sloka is there. Aushatam Jagatasyetu Sarvadharma Prakramaha. In the sense, because Aushatam is one, who gives you the medication also, medication in the form of prana, and the medication in the form of food he has given through the earth. So once you have both of them, it will be there. But one gentleman was jokingly telling, now Aushatam Jagadasya, with the medicine you are kept alive, because of forever. So your Jagatasya, your attachment to the world is because of the medicines. And you go and tell, you will be given another medicine. That's all. It is a fact of life. Okay, so I just wanted to share it. If you have anything, you can ask me, madam. Still, we have got 6 more minutes to go. Prabhuda, it was audible, I hope.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, how was your other courses, madam? You were attending a lot of things.
No, rather, all those courses were kept on the side.
Yeah.
There was a mess in the family. Let's not forget. I'll just ask one small question. I've been just thinking, we live through our breath, and the minute we focus on breath, we forget to think. So, I don't know, I'm not even sure what question I'm thinking, but what I mean is that the idea is basically breath and love are the only two things which will rule the world.
Yeah.
Okay, because they basically let you forget your ego. Is that the bottom line? And after listening to everything, that's what I come down to. I think I'm taking too many jumps at the same time, is it? Or
I thought I will talk to you the next week. I will just cover this particular point. This is a dilemma. Everyone, because even those who are doing meditation and all, those who are not doing and all, we will do that. Because that is a
okay.
fundamental question, and we will take, with the next mantra, we will explain it next week.
Oh, okay. That's what I was like, okay, we were discussing so much. Why not go to that?
No,
Fair
no,
enough.
I will do it, because this is the question. I also have it in mind, and I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sahanau Bunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu Vishvidavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will meet next week, madam. Thank you. I will also answer your question. And I will also explain.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ramachandran, today's was 102, na? Sloka?
108.
108, na?
108, 2.2.4. Where when the body is negated, what remains?
Correct. Okay.
That is the mantra we have taken. Next, we are saying when prana is negated, what remains?
Okay.
So because both are they are taking it as the most subtlest concept. So less subtler and more subtler. Likewise, Upanishad takes you more calibrated approach. I think they should have masters. All the rishis. They know human mind. How they can think and how to. That was wonderful.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
All the best. So if you have one more minute, Alice, have you read that book, Thinking and Destiny? I don't remember the author right now. But I'll post it on our group. Thinking and Destiny. In that, there's a doer, the knower, and one more also. But it's more based on the English philosophy. I'll just
no problem. I think it is more relevant because English philosophy is more to the existence of the human being. So I think that is more understood by than our ours is little esoteric. That is existential. So the more